Welcome to the Ice Talks, where we implement change every day. Hey, how you doing? This is Harold S. Reed Jr., also known as HRJR, your motivational coach. If you don't know what motivation means, motive plus action equals results, and results equals success. Welcome back to another great episode of what I hope for you will be a great episode of the Ice Talks. I'm going to jump right into it. Who is your favorite? Who is your favorite athlete? Who is your favorite entertainer, be it in music, movies, television? Who's your favorite author? I mean, who is the person, or who are the people who you just, throughout your whole life, have loved to watch, listen to, enjoy whatever it is that their craft is? I'm a martial artist. I love watching, karate movies. I've had many heroes over the years. I just love looking at their stuff. These people are stars, or what we call stars. I like to think there's a difference between a star and a celebrity. Okay. Both are famous, but a star, the way I was raised and the way I came up and how I came up, a person had to earn becoming a star, right? You had to put in work to become a star. You had to have a craft. You had to have a skill. You had to have talent to become a star, right? Whether it was a sports star, movie star, television star, music star, you had to have specific talent to earn star after whatever your craft was or is. Today, anybody and their mother can be a celebrity. If you get enough people to like your videos on YouTube or Instagram, you can become a celebrity. If you do a bunch of Facebook lives and you get a lot of people to follow you, you can become a celebrity. There are people who are low-key celebrities. What's the TV show? Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out, right? A lot of those people are people that made names for themselves off of doing vines. I don't know, some of you might not remember that app where you could just do like 10, 15-second videos. You would think these people were making movies, but they're doing 15-second videos, and they were hilarious. And a lot of people got themselves comedy deals and writing deals and publishing deals and all kinds of things, but and you got reality TV. So you got reality, quote unquote, reality stars. Which is an oxymoron, because I don't believe reality and stars should go together. Those people become celebrities, right? Because they sit up there and they just put their trash out there for us to see and judge and watch and what have you. And that's how they make a name for themselves. For example, one of my guilty pleasures is loving hip hop. I'm not going to lie, right? And that's one of my, I'm just laughing at the fact that I just admitted that. But here's the crazy thing. For those of you who, and you ain't got to admit it, I won't tell, but for those of you who know you do watch it, some of these people you never heard of before, you saw them on Love and Hip Hop, and you will probably never see if they don't make it to the next season. But anyway, so those are celebrities. Those are people that you could just do anything. If you get enough people to like you, you could become a celebrity, right? Being a star lasts. Being a celebrity, that's fickle. That's where the fickleness or the fickle nature of people set in, because you could be here today and gone today being a celebrity. But a star, your stuff is legendary. We look up to stars. We look at celebrities. You can quote me on that. But either way, those people in their lives are at some level successful. If they're not worried how their bills are getting paid, if their families are eating and eating well, if, they're happy in doing what they're doing, then they're succeeding. And I said it probably in the past 2 or 3 episodes of this podcast, because I always say it, successful people will always be in the minority, because successful people are the ones who are willing to do more. So I say all of that whole big, large build up to get to this one point. There is a place in this life for the right person. There is always a place in this life for the right person. Now, what makes any particular person the right person? The answer to that question is, how much are they willing to put forth to become that right person? Joseph and Katherine Jackson had 10 children, one of which died in childbirth. A lot of people don't know that. Marlon Jackson had a twin brother named Brandon, and I think Brandon died at childbirth or shortly thereafter. But anyway, so let's say 10, let's say 9, all right? I'm not going to, Lord knows, I'm not going to say and try to name all them damn Jacksons. But Joe and Catherine had 9 children who grew up. And we know Michael, Janet, Jermaine, Jack, all the Jacksons. Music, bananas, right? But out of those boys, who you know? Michael. Out of those girls, who you know? Janet. They were the ones, right? Look at Destiny's Child. And I believe before Destiny's Child was Destiny's Child, when they were really children, they used to call themselves Girl Time, all right? Beyonce, Kelly, Latavia, Latoya, Eenie, Meenie, Miney, and Mo. I mean, there's a few girls that went through that rotation, right? But in the end, who did it come down to? Beyonce. When it was Destiny's Child, it centered around Beyonce. And then Beyonce had to become Beyonce, right? Look at Rockefeller Records, right? All right, Rockefeller Records was started by Kareem Biggs, Damon Dash, and Sean Carter, also known as Jay-Z, right? And then they signed artists onto that record label. But who did everybody pay attention to? Jay-Z, right? Take your favorite sport. Who's your favorite athlete? Who stands out on your team? Is it Kobe? Is it Shaq? Is it LeBron? Who stands out on that team, right? Take your entertainment, right? Whether it's George Clooney, Denzel Washington, Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy, all these people, these stars, right? Hell, I'll even go so far as to say Cardi B. She went from celebrity to star. She really had a good come up. She had good people on her team guide her in the right direction. But my point being, right? All of these people exist in a world or in worlds where there are people alongside of them who are probably equally as talented. All right? Or maybe even more. But there's something about that person, inside that person, that pushes them to the forefront. Right? Michael wasn't the oldest Jackson, but there was something about Michael that pushed Michael to the forefront. All right? Something about Beyonce and the power of her voice that pushed her to the forefront. Something about how hard Jordan worked that pushed him to the forefront. Hell, Jordan got cut from the basketball team when he was in high school. Imagine if he'd have quit then. Right? I don't know much about baseball, so I don't know whoever names A-Rod and Jeter and whoever else you want. Reggie Jackson, I'll go back to when I was a kid. All right? The Griffeys, Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. All right? All of these people who are stars in their own right. There was the place that they made for themselves exists because they made that place for themselves. And I'm saying all of this to say, what's stopping you, or rather ask, what's stopping you from making a place for yourself in this world? I belong to an organization that I joined when I was in college called Groove Fi Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated. All right. And I joined this organization actually following in my father's footsteps because he pledged when he was in college in 1968. And I was never really, growing up, I was never really, contrary to popular belief today, I was never really out in the front type person, right? But I had grown, I had gone through the military, come out of my shell in high school, college, come out of my shell a little bit, you know, and then joining the organization, come out of my shell a little more. And I became, over the years, I started to become rather outspoken to the point where people actually listen, because I didn't just talk to hear myself talk. I spoke and had something to say. And I spoke and knew what I was talking about, not just speaking to be heard, right? And over the course of the years in the organization, I began to develop a name for myself, to where I've, I had I have had national presidents on speed dial. I've had national presidents of my organization call me, asking me for my advice or asking me for my assistance in certain projects. I've spoken to and have broken bread with national founders. I'm talking about upper echelon people in the organization with whom not every brother has ever even gets to meet, let alone converse with. And it's not like these people are hard to find, but it just happened that way, and I've always been, I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but based on what brothers have told me, I've always been considered one of the, most respected upper echelon brothers in the organization. And I appreciate that because I feel as though I've earned that. I made a place for myself within that organization, right? You have to make a place for yourself in this world, and there is a place for you, all right? I'm not saying you have to become a star. I'm not saying you have to become a celebrity. What I am saying is that you have a special uniqueness about you. As Les Brown always says, I believe there is greatness within you. But it's just what I was telling one of my karate students just yesterday. It's not enough that I believe that there's greatness in you. If you don't believe that there's greatness within yourself, you are doing a disservice to yourself and the rest of the universe. If you don't give the world what God, the universe, whatever you deem your higher power to be, if you don't give what was given to you, if you don't share that gift, you're wasting your life. You're wasting your resources. Each and every one of us is a natural resource, right? Your existence is a natural resource. What comes from you is a natural resource. Guess what? Even if you're a some bitch, I said it, even if you're a some bitch, you are a natural resource. Don't waste it. Don't waste your life. Don't waste your gift. Be who and what you were meant to be, because there will always be a place in this life, in this world, in this existence for the right person.